Well, I don't know what to say because it's been too long, I guess. So welcome to everyone who's listening to Before the Punchline Comedy Podcast. We're coming to you not live, recorded, but for the first time in 2 months. So I don't want to call myself a lazy ass, so let's just say that it's the second season.
Yeah, whatever, motherfucker. Okay.
We needed a break, you know. I needed a break to take care of my family life and my laziness.
How's your family, by the way?
Great. You know, my daughter is growing rapidly. I think she's going to be taller than me.
She's growing rapidly. Do you feed it? Do you give her fertilizers?
Yes, exactly. How do you take care of your babies? Exactly the same way you take care of plants.
You put them in the dirt. You put some water on it, a few fertilizers, and good luck.
Yeah. And there you go. You know, and then you will it will grow. You know, you will harvest it and chop it into a salad.
You know what's so funny? Is it in the Russian language? Do you guys for example, for animals? You have a he or a she, like for a dog. And if someone heard me call a dog an it, they go ballistic.
You know? Yeah, it is because we have genders for animals and, you know, not living things, you know, as well. But in English, yeah. I mean, in English, you can also call animals he or she, but if you have very close connection to them, like it's your pet.
But I get very close connections. Yeah, I watched that movie. It's not that good.
Sometimes you can be desperate. Come on.
Oh, well, yeah, I get it. You're married. But the thing is that, you know, mostly you can say it's an it. You know, like, oh, that's a dog is an it. But in Russian, I can't say a dog is an it. It's how people react to it. It's amazing. But can you call a baby an it in Russian or not?
No, I think if you don't know the gender, you can call the baby they. Just like in English.
Oh, no. So you guys invented gender neutrality, yeah?
Something like that, yeah. Also, you see, it has come to Russia. Yeah.
Yeah. It has come to Russia like since the times of Pushkin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like how we've been recording for 2 minutes, so I still haven't introduced neither of us.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but just to make things a little bit more official, he is Abed Owaysi. My name is Kirill Voronin. Just like with the first season where we recorded the first and the last episodes together, this second season starts with an episode with you and me together again.
And it will end with this episode, yeah.
It will end with this episode, yeah. Well, let's just hope that everything's going to be fine. Our good friends from Steal the Show Comedy actually allowed me to use this wonderful basement where we are recording this at the moment.
Yeah, as you guys can see from the video that he did not record.
Fuck off, I'm not that professional. Yeah, by the way, wanted to start with a little bit of statistics because actually our podcast finally reached 1,000 total downloads.
I love that the comedy podcast starts with statistics.
Yes, exactly.
What else?
Weather forecast, next.
Here it will be fucking hot.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't have hot chicks, so here are some failed female comedians.
Wow. Okay. I will not touch that subject is like as how do you call it? As on fire as the subject of Palestine and Israel. You want to be cancelled? Talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. But still, I don't know, man. What's up? How has your life been? How has your comedy been?
All is well. All is well. I can't complain much. But if you don't complain, you don't have comedy. That's my thing of it, you know.
That's how you get material and
exactly.
ideas.
You have to complain. Like it's never you. How do you call it? You never get a story from. So I was walking. Oh, you get a story from. I crossed the street from. When the traffic light was green, and I stood in the middle of the street, and I started to try to do a comedy bit.
Yeah, those cops did not like that.
Yeah, you don't get this. This doesn't happen to you whenever like God forbid, of course. But when something like bad happens to you, it doesn't come to your head like this is 2 minutes. Does it like this is 2 minutes? No, it doesn't happen to you.
It happens to me sometimes because when I would walk, and I would actually listen to the voice in my head, I'd start talking to myself. And then I'm looking around. I'm like, fuck, I've already at the point where I needed to get, but it's been like a 25-minute walk from the metro. I haven't even noticed that.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that work?
I remember about 2 weeks ago, I got stopped by the police, surprisingly, again. And fucking hell.
Nothing changes, you know.
I told you that now I know two of them who live like next to where I live. Because sometimes at 1 a.m. or at 2 a.m., I like to take a quick walk. Just, sometimes like I talk to myself, and my flatmates are now like, there go, okay, if he's talking to himself, we should stay away. So now I like keep it a bit, how to say this? I kept a bit less psychotic for them. Is that now I talk to myself outside. Much better. All those, the guys who are drinking, just look at me, walk to myself. There are nothing in my ears. And they go, okay, that guy you don't talk to. Mess with you. And now I know, like, there are two policemen who are, they're the beat cops, like, on our neighborhood. And now,
what?
Like,
beat cops?
No, it's not beat cops that they come to you and beat you up, no. It's like an American slang, sorry. It's like a policeman who patrols your area by beating his feet, by walking. That's called a beat cop. And sometimes he beats you, from like, it depends. Never mind, I'm not gonna go there. So now like they know me, and 2 weeks ago I got stopped by them, accident, like again. And they were just like passed by, they look at me because they asked me like, how's your registration? Did you finish your registration? Like they now know things about me. And we're talking, and the whole time in my head, I'm like, this is a great 3-minute bit. I swear to God, it's so weird.
I like it, how it's a little TED talk, that you have there with police officers. It's like your neighbors, oh, how's your wife? How are your kids? And the police officer is like, oh, how have you been? How's your registration?
Yeah, because they actually, the funny thing is because in Russia, for people who don't know, in Russia, one of the most important things to have with you while walking is your passport, your migration card, which is much more important than you can actually lose your passport and you cannot lose your migration card. Yeah, like they have no problem in putting a new visa on your passport, okay?
Wow.
But they have a huge problem in making a piece of paper, a small piece of paper, that for them is like the ultimate thing, And if you don't have your registration, that could get you like fined, and that could get you like fined, and the police could mess with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So these guys were like you're just saying we don't want someone else to stop you like in the metro. So I was like, I felt so happy, man. I felt like so privileged. I don't know what that word means, but I felt so privileged for that.
Jordanian privilege,
Well, more like brown privilege or like beauty privilege.
Coffee color privilege.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that coffee. I'm like cappuccinoic. I don't know. Is that
cappuccinoic? Okay.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny. I'll tell you something. So a few days ago, I'm doing like fixing stuff with my visa. Everything is legal, and so the person who's doing that, like they know the rules. But so they put my data on the computer, and then they click enter, and then they told me, the computer knows more about the rules than us. I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah. It's like it didn't accept like one thing in the data, and apparently in the rules, in the rule book, it should be accepted. But the computer went, nope, I'm not accepting this. And I was like, this is how Skynet starts.
Exactly, yeah.
So it starts.
Or just a prank by one angry programmer who's writing the code for the government.
And I was there. Have you ever got this? Have you ever had a panic attack? Like and you thought, the only thing that came to my head at that time is that this is not your time at the moment. This is not the time of a panic. I swear, like, because I thought there was something really wrong with the whole data because the computer is not accepting it. So I might be in really like in deep shit. And I started sweating. My heart was pounding. I'm just like not focusing. And all what's in my head are two things. This is 1 minute of comedy, I swear to God. I swear to God. And this is like, this is not your time for a panic attack. Like, I think of it as like, how do you say this? As cards, This is not your time to play this hand. Let's play it later.
Yeah.
If I play it now, it won't come next time. And when there's a time when I should panic, it won't happen, and I'll be like, oh no, I now know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Please help me out. Yeah, exactly.
So fucking
No,
funny.
I've had those situations before. But right now, I'm so freaking tired all the time from being a dad and working all the time that every single thing that happens in my life, I'm like, okay, so how can I turn this into a joke?
Yeah.
My wife and daughter got sick and got to the hospital. How can I write a joke about this?
Imagine. So I heard a few comedians who were like, if we could adopt a child, that's 1 hour of comedy.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I told my wife, actually. So when we went
You want to adopt a child?
No, something like that in terms of comedy, because when we went to get married in Zaks, so we put our signatures in there, and I look at my wife, I'm like, you have no idea how many jokes I'm gonna write about this.
And that was your vows, yeah?
Yeah,
She was
exactly.
like, my husband, my love, I love you. That I like. You have no idea how much this is. This is gonna get me like Netflix, bitch.
Exactly. And the name of the special will be "You Have No Idea, Bitch."
Oh man, that would be like really, really messed up.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny for me is that your wife still haven't beaten the fuck out of you.
She's too tired to do that.
Yeah, I should have guessed. I should have guessed that. So funny the shit that you do to her, man.
Luckily she doesn't hear half of the stuff I talk about her on stage.
Oh my Allah. Okay.
Like imagine that people would actually remember my bets, and then
I do.
Yeah, and then one day my wife comes here, and everyone will be like, "Oh, there's that girl, she married him so he could bury her officially."
Oh man,
stuff like that.
I'll tell you something about this. So, my girlfriend now. I once, when we were performing, I made a small mistake. I said my current girlfriend. People laughed, and I like this. So now I improvise it every time, I get the chance. That's how you improvise. You improvise
exactly.
once, then you repeat the improvisation. So she was in the audience, and I do the same thing, and I do this playing oh, my current girlfriend, current, and I laugh, audience laughs, and she's in the back, and she goes X. And we're walking, and all I'm hearing, I swear to God, she talks, and then she goes, current, and then we continue walking, and then she goes, current, and I was like, I'm never gonna stop.
This is gonna last forever.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you know what? The funny thing is that it's usually people are thinking oh, comedians are funny, and their fiancés, their better halves, are not so funny. Let me tell you something. I think that you will agree with me. If there ever would be a kind of roast where you would roast your better half, your girlfriend would roast the fuck out of you, and my wife would rape me.
I will tell you something. First of all, you saying that the fiance is the better half, that right now, I wanted to comment on it, but I'm not going to. Because if she hears this, some bad shit is going to happen to me, okay? But I agree with you, fiance better half. But yeah, they know too. But imagine if your mother roasts you.
Oh my God,
Imagine
Jesus
if your
Christ.
mom
She just can, the only thing that she needs to do to fucking roast me to death is bring our family photo album with her. That's it.
And just tell the real story.
No, nothing. She doesn't need to say anything. She just needs to, turn the papers.
Imagine. This is when he put a shark up his ass. No, it's a real shark. He just thought it was.
You know what's? You just reminded me of the freaking weirdest, strangest, and I don't know. It's even one of the scariest things that I've ever seen in my life. I think it's what the Soviet people used to do, and my parents used to do that as well.
Wait, now you're freaking me out.
Is when in their photo album there is always a picture of their child.
Of Stalin.
And Stalin as well, of their child sitting on Stalin's lap, Exactly. Now, in every photo album of every Soviet family, there is a picture of their baby bathing naked. In every single photo album.
Well, what's up with that, man?
I have no fucking idea. Really, my mom, and my mom, I know that she does it without actually thinking about it.
Are you sure?
I hope so. Anyway, And a couple of months ago, she sent me the video in one of the messengers. That was a video of her friend's little son bathing naked. And I was like, why the fuck do you send it to me?
Dear audience, if you don't think today we have a show. It's Saturday. It's when is it? It's Saturday, 10th of July. We have a show. How much would you bet that he's gonna do a 5-minute bit about this?
I will definitely do that.
So funny, man. I'm now. You know what? I'm now interested. Now I really want to call my mom. I was like, "Do you have any naked pictures of me when I was 5?" I think she will say, "I saw you naked. I don't need fucking pictures."
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't need that shit.
I need to remind myself how my son's little pee-pee looks like every now and then.
Yeah, and then make a comparison. Wow. Okay, that was weird.
Jesus Christ. No, that's getting. But that actually explains. My son's dick is bigger than your son's dick. Prove it.
Whoa! Wait a second. Has that ever happened in a conversation?
No, luckily no.
Well, I've seen that in 18+ movies, documentaries, as you might say. But that would be interesting conversation between two babushki, two old women sitting, eating sandwichki. One has her son comes like with a BMW X6 whatever. He's the CEO of Russia Apple. I don't know how you would call it. And then he would enter, and the other babushka's son comes by foot, like a hardworking man. Not that the CEO of Russian Apple is not hardworking, but CEO of Russian Apple, fucking retard. And he would come, and she would look at her as like, see what my son is fucking rich. Well, my son's dick is bigger than yours.
Exactly. Oh my god! I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually what's happening.
Oh my god, man, that was so.
But we don't know about that.
As yesterday, I was asking the audience, who I think are so funny, man. You can't imagine. I was asking them like, what's one of the best things? What's the best thing about Russians? Like, what do you think is like so amazing about Russians? And I always get like some answers like girls, someone delusional said the weather, and then there's this guy who I think he was from Finland, a very nice guy, and he goes babushki. I was like, well, that's a very interesting take on it.
He wouldn't be wrong. I mean,
yeah, I know, man. Well, it depends, man. I love it when like there's a babushka who comes to the metro. She's like having her like bag, and you just stand up for her to sit in your seat, and she looks at you and goes, "The fuck you looking at, motherfucker?" I swear there was one time I didn't even understand Russian. This 2009, I think. She just looked at me in a way that I sat and I pissed myself.
It's the same thing. Like when we were driving today here, you remember like there is no pedestrian crossing, just the road, and there is like babushka in the middle of it. The old granny is crossing the road, and I'm stopping. I stopped right in front of her. She didn't even look at me. She didn't even look at our side.
But can I tell you something? It was so amazing for me that you did something, like how calm you are. Is that you didn't even honk, you didn't even go bah, like you didn't go like rage. And I was like, wow, this guy can actually hold himself. If I was in your place, I would have been now in a police station. Definitely, for like giving her a heart attack by going bah, and then shouting at her, and then I would be like murder of a babushka.
It's like, no, bitch, I'm not gonna run you over. No, that's too easy. I'm gonna, like cause a heart attack.
It's so fucking, because any other person would literally go like, they would rage, and you just calmly went, "What the fuck are you doing, bitch?" And she's walking. She didn't have a care in the world to look at you or to look at us. I was like, what are we? Amazing,
ghosts. See, we are ghosts.
Went through to have that mentality.
I think she thinks, I need to buy a pie or something like that. She's so focused on buying a pie.
Buying a pie. What was the last thing that you wanted to buy that made you that focused?
Maybe,
Diapers.
Oh no! Actually, the child seat, a child car seat, car chair or seat, whatever you call it. Yeah, for my daughter, because my wife told me basically, if you're not gonna buy it, you are fucked.
Wow.
I was like, I'd better buy it.
Wow.
And it better be a good chair.
Fucking hell. That was a threat.
Yeah, that was a threat. Yeah.
I think that even threat wasn't like, you can go and sleep at Abed's place. No. You won't sleep at all.
I will find you at Abed's place. And that's the end of you, my friend.
Fucking hell. I can't believe I was ever that focused. I can't believe. Maybe when I'm walking by myself, talking to myself, thinking, like, oh, this joke is funny, and why didn't it work? And I'm psychotically thinking, like, fucking, this should have worked. But that's it.
Well, I mean, you and I know at least one person who we have seen multiple times being that focused. Our mutual comedian friend who just got his driving license not so long ago.
Oh my God, Ivan, man. Ivan Yavis, you don't know him? One of the funniest people ever. A joke machine. But man, Ivan, this is from the bottom of my heart. Like, I love how you drive. You guys get the sarcasm, don't you?
His focus is the same as this granny's.
Wow, you remember, he can't even talk to us. He's like, he's there. He's in the zone of whatever he's in the zone with. It's so funny. But well, driving stick, you have to get like you have the clutch thingy. You have to shift gears. You have to hold the steering wheel. You can't have like 6 arms and 2 or 3 legs, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the manual transmission, that's one of the worst things in the world.
I think it was like, it's really good, for, like focusing and everything, until at one point you go, okay, like in traffic, you have to put on first gear. Then you put neutral. Then you put first gear. Like, really?
In Moscow's traffic, it's really impossible, because really when I had to re-register my dad's car on my mom's name, I drove his car and had manual transmission. My leg was hurting after an hour of driving it. My left leg. Yeah. So it's.
Thank you for saying your left leg. Nobody like, what? Does he move the thing with his right leg, the clutch? Imagine you pressing it with your.
Maybe I'm very stretchy.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm very stretchy.
I need gymnastics in my life.
Fantastic. Very stretchy.
Something like that.
So how off topic are we at the moment?
30 minutes, I think, maybe
nice.
more.
We broke the record.
Yeah, but still, we actually have 2 things to talk about today. One of the things is actually a pretty huge piece of news in the comedy world, at least. Regarding one particular comedian who got out of jail recently.
I love it. Just say it.
Yeah, let's keep it a secret. Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump. Yeah, exactly. No, that guy will go to jail, probably.
I miss his Twitter account.
Oh, everyone does, I think.
Anyway, so yeah, Cosby.
Yeah, and but we'll get to that later, because the first thing I wanted to talk about is actually something that you've been doing for the past week or two.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. This is actually very similar to what you did before.
Yeah.
Because about 6 months ago, you started this.
I'll tell. It was
kind of streak, so to speak.
It was in November. I think it was about my 5-year anniversary of doing stand-up. I just wanted to do something for myself and for whoever, like, just to put tips every day. I think I reached 43 tips. And then after it, I stopped. There was nothing coming to my head. And now I started doing, which actually was, I remember, I wanted to do it from before. And one day, me and you, we were talking. Mm-hmm. And then we were talking about the podcast. You had like your own like a vision for it, which you stopped for 2 months. No, never mind. Yeah. I get it. Like, you have a baby, you have a wife, you think you have a life. So
exactly. I think I'm a comedian.
And after it, I was like, yeah, man, I should do this. So now I start, like, I'm trying to, every day I post one of the things that I think was a mistake that I used to do in comedy. And it's actually fun. It's actually fun to read how bad in grammar I am and bad at spelling. you know, but it's actually very fun to remember all the shit that happened.
But I like the structure how you post it. So it's basically divided into three parts, where you first you describe the mistake itself in detail, then you give the reason for this mistake, and you end up with a possible solution to this mistake.
This is actually was after, like, I remember I texted you and I told you, like, hey, how do you think this would work? Should I just post the mistake, or should I post this, or like, I don't know, random thing? And then you told me, no, like, post mistake, the reason for it, and the solution. Now, when I post the mistakes, I posted from my point of view, because that was the way I was thinking at that time. And some of the mistakes I still repeat, sadly. And this is like, in my head, that's the mentality, you know? And to be honest, I also go on the internet, because sometimes I cannot formulate the mistake in my head. Imagine, like, this is so weird. So what I do is I go, like, into internet, I actually type stand-up mistakes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looking for something similar.
Yeah, like something to formulate it properly. Like yesterday, I posted a mistake. I actually forgot what I posted, to be honest.
Let me see that. So
14.
Yesterday, that was mistake number 14. I'm going to do crowd work at the beginning of my set.
Exactly.
That's the mistake.
Yeah.
The reason for that, crowd work usually goes sour if you're inexperienced and will shut off the audience to you. And the solution for that is make them know you're funny with your first line or two, then start your crowd work. They will be more open to you. And P.S., if you're still an inexperienced performer, I would recommend to hold off doing crowd work until you have built your first tight 10 minutes. And I think that this is the same thing can be applied to hosting.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like this one, for example, I wanted to do this. Oh, you shouldn't do crowd work at the beginning. But all I had in my head, literally, was crowd work. That was the word. I couldn't put the word crowd work first at the beginning. So I'm scrolling, like, through everything. There's like a book I found. I'm reading it, and then I found someone who was saying like how doing crowd work at the beginning is bad, you know. I was like, oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what like literally that's the few words I wanted. Just to talk about this just a bit, why I think it's by the way, here's how bad I am. So there I wrote doing crowd work for inexperience it could go sour. I wanted to write south. And I don't know. I don't know which one is more racist.
Sour is actually, I think, is more emotional.
Oh, okay. I like being emotional. I'm an Arab after all.
Yep.
Sometimes I go over emotional. You don't want to see me. You don't want to be near me. So
basically, you don't want to be near Abed when he has sex. That's it.
Thank you, baby. No comment on this. Not that I have had any sex or any sexual relations. I'm still a virgin, definitely, mom. So
those 33 virgins are waiting for you.
72.
72. Okay.
Please, don't mistake. Which I really maybe someone can correct me. I really don't know what's the origin of that. But we're not here to talk about religion, you know.
Yes, we're
let's
not
talk about something that doesn't piss people off, like politics.
Yeah, like politics, for example. Yeah.
So yeah. One of the reasons, and I remember why this came to my head, because I remember when I was doing comedy I got on stage and I would talk to the audience instantly. No preparations, nothing, I would say, "Hey, what's your name?" And at one point, I was so angry that they didn't respond back. They responded to the host. The host was doing great. Why do they talk to him, but they don't talk to me? I was angry. I was like, well, they should. And at one point, they would instantly draw back from me. Instantly. I would go, "What's your name?" And then, oh, this is bad. And after a while, I was like looking at people, how they perform. And after a while, I noticed that when I got on stage, I made a mistake while like doing my first line, and people laughed. And then instantly, I was like, "Oh, you like that?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." I was like, "Wait a second, this is interesting." Yeah, because that at one point, it's just, I know it's simple, but when you're on stage, it's such a different like vibe. The whole, like, you have a whole world, different world. So it just came to me. It's like, oh yeah, that's how it is. You make them laugh. They know you're funny. They drop their guard just a bit, not too much. They give you they give you, like they give you a bit of lenience. You know, you can be and you have to be playful. This is very important. You cannot go. For example, sorry, you cannot go. You look like a prostitute.
Yeah, definitely. That's there is a very thin line between being playful and being insulting to people.
And the guy who you would say that to would just look at you and go, "Where?" But no, it's not like. But if the thing is, if you go like, "Oh, you look like you make your money out of so and so," and then link it to a bit to, for example, prostitution or whatever, then, or you can like say it with a smile, say it by being playful. It's very wrong to, that's again my opinion, to just get on stage and just start instantly. You know, hello, so what's your name? You know,
I can agree with you because I've been actually hosting for the past several months to get more experience at crowd work in particular. And the last 2 times I hosted, the first time I did exactly what you mentioned in that mistake. I got on stage and I immediately started talking to people, and that was not a very good show for me. But the second time, what I did, I prepared a couple of jokes. I mean, just not even the jokes, you know, I made the roadmap of what I want to talk about to people. And then after one of those jokes, I started, I got into the joke, and then I started talking to people. Hey, what do you think about it? Yeah. Or I asked somebody a question, I think. Yeah. And from there, I started doing crowd work. So it felt organic. And natural, you know, that a joke had flown right into the conversation with an audience members.
Improvised, you know?
Yeah, it felt improvised, and everyone enjoyed it. So that was a much better show than the previous one.
One other thing about this is that I see a lot of people, they like performers, me included, we want to do crowd work because it's the one thing about crowd work. So it's very easy to do crowd work. You cannot, what the hell is that? English that way. You cannot imagine how easy it is to do crowd work. All you have to do, this is from me to you, misspell their name. What's your name? Kirill. Kirill, people will laugh. I have no idea why.
It's the same as you have this go-to joke with a name like, what's your name? Nastya. Oh, such a beautiful Arabic name.
Exactly.
And people laugh all the time.
Exactly. This is straight from Al Murray's book, but he adds something to it, and it's amazing, and I'm training myself to do that, which is like, what's your name? George. Oh, very nice Icelandic name. It comes from the name of we live under a volcano. Mm-hmm. You know, like he makes a joke about the name, and that is insane for me. You know, that's like so deep. And one other thing about this is that you see people who really they want to do crowd work. I'm like, do it, but before you do that, build a 5-minute set. If you build a 10-minute set, that means you're that experienced. You know, once you reach that experience, but like that's you can start doing something. You don't start with crowd work instantly. You know, I have a bit of an advantage in it because, you know, an Arab in Russia, you know, I have a bit of it. And the other thing is that I don't know why, I'm kind of like being playful anyways, you know?
Yeah, there is such an aspect to your character.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely,
honestly, I have no idea, but if they do, they do. But again, I have to be funny. The first line, you know this, the first line, the first 2 lines, they have to laugh. The moment they laugh, they will give you 3 minutes. Let's say 3 minutes. Well, it's a bit more, but let's say 3 minutes of their time, they will listen to your shit. Mm-hmm. You know, they will be accepting, and if you make them laugh really hard, then like you look at them, they'll be open to you to do whatever you want with them.
I think you know, and I think that we are in agreement here. Yeah, that at the beginning, sadly, there will be one time, I think, at least once, when we will argue about something. But still, I think that we both agree that once you get on stage, you need to make the people laugh as fast as possible. And for me, you know, this is so fucked up because as a host, I need to run the admins, to tell about the shows, the schedule, and so on and so forth. I'm trying to make people laugh even when I do that. So I'm trying to slip in like a small joke into that speech, because in my head, I'm like, I know how boring it is to listen to this. I know that people did not come here for this. So if I'm forced to tell them this information, let's make it a little more entertaining.
Yeah, but okay, let's argue with this. No, I'm joking. But the thing, for example, with hosting, the moment they start hosting, like you would welcome them, as a host, it's your job to do that. The admin stuff, like we have shows that like this day, but you have to let them know where they are. I've been to one show where literally the audience had no idea where they were. They thought they were in a fucking TED Talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. I respect every host. I respect every performer who gets on stage, who does everything. But if you're hosting, do your shit properly. That's all. Like, you're hosting a show. You get what I'm saying? This is like the thing that I don't know if you get paid or not, but this is what you have to do. And the thing with this is that literally, and there was once when I was performing in Russian in a small cafe, whatever. I am telling you, man, literally the audience were like, so what do they have here? And these guys came for this. They paid.
Mm-hmm.
They paid to come to a show, and they had no idea what was going on. And all the host did was he got on stage, and he was like, hello, this is stand-up. Comedians. What? What? Yeah, but the idea of the admin part, I don't know if you should be funny in it, like, but you should. I think you should, like, as fast as possible, as like informative as possible. Maybe that would be like the same, because if you make it also funny, it would be great, I think. But if it's not, it's not. Doesn't have to be.
Wanted to ask you this thing, because it's something that's been bothering me, and I see that more and more. And it's just, I don't know, I don't like this aspect. It's usually what the hosts do, but also the comedians do. They always talk about how much life of comedians sucks, all the freaking time. And it's like almost as look, we're like slaves. We've been tortured. We went to hell and came back to make jokes about this. I never liked it. And I've heard plenty of this from the lines of like, our symbol is a raccoon because we belong in the trash, to like, this is like therapy, to which I'm like, you have no fucking idea what therapy is. And
I'll tell you something about the therapy line. The raccoon line, maybe it could be like funny, but then again, for example, if we go with the raccoon thing, like, oh, by the way, for people who didn't know, go to Steal the Show comedy and you'll see what the raccoon came from.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the slogan of the how do you call this?
I say it's mascot. It's mascot.
Mascot slogan. Yeah. Oh, sorry, mascot. Really, I really, my English is bad, man. So I should stop playing World of Warcraft.
With Arabs.
Properly. Fuck you. Anyway, so the thing with the raccoon, for example, before you call yourself trash, before you call your comedians trash, for me that's no. If experienced comedians are you're gonna how do you call this? You're gonna present like experienced comedians, professionals who've been doing this for years, and you call them trash, they're never gonna come to your show again.
Mm-hmm. And and you even reminded me. Pardon the interruption. But you even reminded me. I hate when hosts or whoever hosts in particular, say about call comedians' jokes shit. Like, they're gonna tell their shit. I'm like, my jokes are not shit. You have no idea. It pisses me off because some people just have, especially those who do it just for fun, they have no fucking idea how difficult it is to write a good joke that will get you a lot of laughs and an applause break. And in my mind, this is what every joke needs to be. You need to write it like, I want to get applause on this joke. like that. If again, what you said, the respect factor. Yeah, if you if before you present Ivan, let's say Ivan Yavits, if you say he's gonna tell you some of his shit, I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be pissed off.
Oh no! Like, so here's the thing. One I made, and hopefully I won't do it, because there's no time when I accidentally when I called comedians like material is shit. But my idea of it, my problem with it, I call stuff shit.
No, it's clear. Yeah, that it's a jargon for.
Thing is, when you introduce a comedian, you cannot shit on them. You know, it doesn't matter how much you like them, you hate them, doesn't matter. Again, you are a host. If you really don't like this comedian, be a fucking man, woman, whatever, and tell them before or after the show, I don't like you. But when there's a show and you have someone, you know, it's your responsibility. Now, going back to the idea of the therapist thing, yeah? I don't like it when, for me, when a performer or a comedian, whatever, I am in therapy. I'm like you know, it's not a good thing. You know, this is not from me. This is like when I noticed some of my friends who went to therapy, they will never talk about it because it's not amazing to be in therapy for them. It's not great to admit that I have a problem. It's really hard. It's fucking hard, you know? And what you're doing is very insulting. But the thing about this therapy thing, if you prove you're funny, and then you can, there's a joke there. If there's nothing there, then shut the fuck up.
For me, you know, the thing that pisses me off about when comedians call stand-up shows therapy is because you have no idea what therapy is. Because I've been through therapy before. Yeah, it's not like this. And I got so pissed at one point that I wrote a kind of a joke, but it was more like a scream of like "fuck you," yeah, to those people, because it's like some people say that comedy and therapy are the same thing. They're not the same. Just imagine coming to your therapist, telling them all about how your life sucks, how your parents ruined your life, and how abusive a relationship you have, only for your therapist to start clapping and laughing at you when you finish.
But you see that how that idea came. There is a joke, you know. But if you go on stage and say, "Oh, therapy, this is therapy for us," if you don't already make it funny, you know, or the idea about yourself, but you cannot you cannot generalize it to all the comedians. This is why I don't like it. But also, I can't say that I don't fall in that. Sometimes it just comes out, you know, this idea. It's because there's this theme or stereotype, whatever, that stand-up comedy is therapeutic, which it is. Like in some way, it is therapeutic. You know,
it's therapeutic in the way that usually in therapy you go to therapy because one of the problems that you have, you keep everything inside and you need to express it somehow. And stand-up basically gives you this chance that we call it complaining.
Either stand-up or go get a gun.
Yeah, or go get a gun, exactly. But I like how you call it. Yeah, I like how other people, a lot of comedians say, we complain on stage. This is what we do. We get on stage and we talk about ridiculously of our life. All those ridiculous stuff that happens.
And the thing with it is that, again, like, for example, there's one time when we were talking about this, and I was saying, why not reverse it?
Mm-hmm.
Why not make it the other way? That they are coming here for therapy and see how that fun.
I did that. I did that in one of my jokes. I was like, like no matter how, every single time that you guys think that your life sucks, that you've reached the lowest of lows, and then you come to our comedy shows, you listen to the comedians perform, and by the time the show ends, you realize that compared to the comedians, your life doesn't actually suck that much.
For me, for example, that one, like, I like the idea of it, that there's a joke. At the same time, I don't like the idea that if you are hosting, I think you shouldn't use that.
No, of course. Yeah, you know? Definitely.
Because it's the same time as saying, it's not you shouldn't. Sorry, I can't say that. Or shouldn't. Well, yeah, which one is the
Shouldn't. Should, because modal verb should is used when you recommend something to someone.
Thank you. That motherfucker. Yeah. So
English teacher. 5 years of experience.
fucking hell, this is like advertising for your fucking jokes and your fucking English teaching thing. I like translator, and I play World of Warcraft. I don't know how to advertise myself. So yeah, like if the idea is that if you generalize, it's like when this happens. Oh, this is such a big mistake. When a host gets on stage, sometimes it's funny to say, "Oh, get more drinks; they will become funnier." What the fuck? For me, I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck do you mean they'll become funnier? Fuck you." This is what goes in my head. Maybe it is funny. Maybe the audience laughs.
I say something like that, but I usually say that drink because it's gonna make a show much more entertaining.
Yeah, But there's something. But on the other hand, this host has to get his money or her money, and they can only get it, for example, through selling drinks. I get that, but the idea is that. Or when you berate the comedian, like the raccoon trash, because we all belong in the trash. Well, no, if you think that, then you go to the trash. I won't. I have my own trash I can live in. So it's called my apartment.
Exactly, the same idea as with the word shit, because my jokes are not shit.
Yeah.
I spend time and,
exactly.
put thoughts into that.
What the fuck I want to tell you? Yeah, and this berating of comedians. I used to do it when I host. I am guilty of this, and I hope when I host more shows, I will never do it. When I say all the comedians they'll be funny, hilarious, maybe, or now each time I do this because I already showed them that this is a fun show. This is entertainment. You're going to be entertained. They laugh. At the same time, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think I don't like when I say maybe. Now, if I show them that I am funny, they already go, yeah, fuck it, maybe. He's being playful. But at the same time, it's still in my head. I put something in their head. Maybe I'm overcomplicating shit. In their head that, this show might be shit. I shouldn't. Your comedians are, you. All the performers, no matter how bad they are, no matter how this guy's gonna go on stage with new material, he's gonna bomb horribly. They are going to entertain you. You are gonna be happy. I like this when I used to host. I would tell the audience, this is gonna be like a fun show. We have our energy. We're gonna give it to you. You have your energy. Give it to us. It's like a mutual thing. You're gonna love it. We're gonna love it. Let's all, have fun with it. And that's if you give them that, you will get an audience. I'm not going to say an open audience, but you're going to get, I'll tell you something. There's a comedian here, David Munoz. He's like a storyteller. If you give him, if he wants to tell a story, you should go get yourself popcorn, because you're going to have fucking hell, he's going to tell a whole story, 15 minutes. It's entertaining. It's funny. But he does something, it's his character. He's joyful, he's happy. He's Australian and half Spanish in some way. I don't get this very Spanish.
If you want to find out more about David's stories and his heritage, then you need to listen to one of the previous episodes of the podcast. He was here as a guest. Yeah,
nice. So. I plugged someone, and not in a dirty way. So he's being playful on stage. He's jumpy, he's joyful, blah, blah, and all this. They're like, the audience are there for him, Although one time, I'll be really honest, here's how he fucking presented me, and I was his first fucking comedian, and it was his fuck it moment. Sometimes we all have this.
Wait for it.
Yeah, we all have this fuck it moment. I just, blah. He got on stage. He didn't his crowd work was not David's crowd work, because I've seen him do crowd work, which is fun. He's being fun with the audience, and he goes, the next comedian, and I was first. And one of the hardest shit to do on stage is being first when you want to do stand up. If you're first, they have to be riled up. And he presents me with the next comedian will introduce himself. And the audience were like, what? And even I was like, what? At that moment, what happened to me, I was psyching myself up. I was like in a corner going, okay, you're the funniest motherfucker for the next 7 minutes. I always do this. Like, okay, it's like this, I don't know how you call it. One guy, Gleb
Tukushev, yeah.
who was a guest on this podcast.
He was. Yes, he was.
Fuck, I'm plugging everybody. I should plug someone else. And I heard it from him. He was like, when you get on stage, you are the funniest person until you get off stage. Then go back to being who the fuck you are. And each time I get on stage, I have that in my head. I have that and stage fright. Imagine how my brain goes. So at that moment, I'm psyching myself. And he will introduce himself. And my whole like energy just goes out of the window. And I get on stage and I bomb horribly.
But I gotta give you credit because the opening line was actually pretty good. You bounced back from that introduction. Remember what you said? You were like, David should host my funeral.
Oh, yeah.
And the audience laughed at that. Because really, like, a dead man introducing himself, that's just a hilarious idea.
I remember this. And the thing is, I cannot blame him. It's wrong for me because at that time, for me, I bombed. I think I bombed. Like, yeah, I remember the line. And then after it was, I don't think it wasn't good.
I remember that because I was there as well. I went right after you, actually. And you were very good at the beginning. And at the end, the middle was not very good.
Fuck off. And I will tell myself whatever. If I got out from there going with this reason, it was his fault, I wouldn't be better at comedy. I went out of there and I was like, it's my fucking fault. That shouldn't have put me down, you know? And it's actually stayed with me for like 5 hours in my head. I was so angry. But yeah, so now going back to what the fuck we were talking about, like crowd work thing. Just don't do fucking crowd work. That's what I think. I really like the first 6 months, don't do fucking crowd work. Just chill the fuck out, do your material. Crowd work can wait. They can wait. And at one point, we were talking about this before. At one point in comedy, you get this, I can make anybody laugh. The moment you reach that point, do whatever you
go
want.
for it. Yeah. To put it simple, like to draw an analogy, get the driving license first and then get behind the wheel. Not vice versa.
Ivan, my love. Anyways.
Here I go. Back to Ivan.
Yeah, sorry. So we were talking about the mistakes.
So I think that's actually one of the most noticeable mistakes that you've posted so far. Yeah, there have been some mistakes that you've posted, and I think that the comedians who perform with us, because I know that some of them make those mistakes and they don't want to admit it for whatever reason. I think that they were pretty like, something like that.
I don't think they don't. To be honest, I don't. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't post this for anybody but myself. I'll be really honest.
One of those.
Which one?
One of these mistakes actually kept my head occupied with one phrase for about 4 hours. It was mistake number 13. I should keep repeating those. Parasite, words. And I remembered because I usually have my parasite phrase, is And after I read this, you motherfucker, for 4 hours I had in my head. I was like, get the fuck out from my head.
So, why do you think this is a bad... for you, why do you think this is a bad thing? Well, this is an obvious bad thing.
I have 2 points of views on that. Yeah, from the point of view of the audience member, they can see that you stagger. That you how do you say stall? A little bit. That you're stalling, and maybe you've lost your flow of thought. Yeah, and that drags the show. It kills the vibe, basically, because I think that one of the most important factors in comedy is pacing, When you're killing it, just imagine, killing, you're about to reach the orgasm of comedy audience when they'll be, just worshipping you, And then you forget the line or you go somewhere else and you're like, and that kills it, that kills the vibe.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even when you're performing this, it so shows how nervous you are. It's like it's the equivalent of playing with a mic stand, of playing with the chord, kicking the chord. This is all I used to do. Swearing between 2 or 3 words. It's the same thing.
Swearing is the worst among that. Like, yeah, I learned that the hard way because you're the one who actually told me that. Like, dude, why are you swearing so much? Yeah. And right now, if you listen to my jokes, I very rarely swear. Only for exaggeration purposes, I do that. Yeah, and for emotional purposes as well. But just swearing for the sake of swearing, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like this you see in all. I remember my first ever performance. My first ever was just me swearing, saying bad words, and after 2 months, I did a really clean set. I mean, it was baby clean, fucking shining, and two of the two of the hosts at that time who used to host, who used to run shows, they came to me like, you can do clean sets. And at that point I was like, yeah, because I wanted to be on this this part of the show, the clean set. And apparently when you do a clean set, it gives you a bit more, like, people look at you, and it's so good that in Ramadan, the fasting month of Muslims. So many S's, so many S's.
Or is it too many consonants? Yeah.
Too many consonants.
I have a speech impediment.
Speech impediment. Spleen. Sorry. So
that's gonna be in your head when you get on stage tonight.
At that point, I realized that you should be on Ramadan. Sorry, it's so good for me because I try as hard as possible not to swear. It's so good to do clean material, just do no swearing, nothing. I remember one day one of my friends, he was like, as if I have friends. Anyways, he was telling me that you looked cute. I was like, I looked what? That was not what I was aiming for. He's like, I don't care. You looked cute when you. At the same time, he was like, it looked so nice to see you struggle not to swear.
Yeah,
Imagine
definitely.
how evil that was, for him to tell me.
But if we go back to the mistakes that you posted, I pointed out for myself a mistake that probably a lot of comedians who saw it and who realized that they do it, they got butthurt or something like that, irritation in their system. And one of them, I think, is for you right now the most annoying, that you find the most annoying. For you, I think it's...
You can't imagine what I find the most annoying. Listen, man, my flatmate today forgot to throw the trash, and I was about to put all the trash in front of their... Believe me, there are so much shit that makes me psychologically rage. Yeah, so...
But I think it's the mistake number 10, at least right now for you. I will laugh after every punchline.
Yesterday, I was performing, and I did that. I was doing this... I wasn't even doing bit. I'm talking to the audience. They're so funny. And they said something that made me laugh, and I commented on it, and apparently it was funny, and I started laughing at it, and I looked at it, I was like, listen, it's not professional for a comedian to laugh at his own jokes, but I don't care. Or, that's a bit annoying. That's a really bit annoying. Yeah, to laugh at your own jokes, it makes you look stupid.
like you wrote ludicrous.
Yeah. I was actually there, exactly. If you ever just watch any Fast Furious movie, you'll know.
Don't save
you should watch
your time, please, in your brains.
Fuck off. You should watch Fast and Furious 9. I beg of you, it's one of the best movies you will ever watch. It's great because I spent 2 hours watching it, and you should be in hell, and you should also watch that fucking movie. You remember when I was watching that movie? Sorry, this is really out of context, but I have to let it out. I'm watching that movie, and I remember I was texting you, I was like, this is annoying. This is insanity itself. How can they make a movie? How did the director, the producer, even the writer himself finish and then go, this is great. This should be on a big screen and people will pay for it.
I think they don't have script writers. I think they spent all their money on Dwayne Johnson and John Cena, and then they're like, okay, give it to the monkeys, let them write the script.
You know who writes the fucking script? It's the cars. They just do like, drift with the cars, and they're like, okay, we'll take whatever that car has written on the road. I swear to God, that's the script. And I'm texting Kirill, and I'm telling him how much I rage on this movie. And I remember you texting me, so how far are you into the movie? I say 5 minutes. 5 minutes made me so angry. It was it's such a great movie. You should really watch it. Spend 2 hours of your entire life watching Fast and Furious 9.
I got almost the same emotions when I was watching the last Star Wars movie, Star Wars Episode 9.
I haven't watched it.
Oh my God. At one point, the stupidity of the dialogue and the story was so much. I was there with my friend, and we have this tradition, we go to every single Star Wars movie, like no matter how good or bad it is. And he kept defending this movie afterwards, but at some point, I'm just, and I remember the scene. So the main character, Rey, she was fighting a character who wanted to kill her.
This spoilers or not?
No, this is not spoilers. She just wanted to brutally kill her. And then she beats her, Rey does, yeah? And then she goes like, come with us. And this woman goes like, well, they say that if I give you to the Empire, they will not touch our planet with millions of people living here. But you know what? I like you. So, and at that moment, I just started laughing. The whole cinema heard me laughing. I was like, this is stupid.
This is so funny.
This was so dumb. Really.
Have you watched the new Black Widow?
No, I saw the reviews. I mean, I would usually watch the movie. Here's a little trivia, yeah. Sometimes I don't agree with the reviews, yeah. And if a lot of people say the movie was bad, I can find it actually pretty entertaining. Like, for example, the last Hellboy movie. People say it was shit. I enjoyed it.
Oh, it was shit, but it was enjoyably shit.
Yeah, it was enjoyably shit. I enjoyed the movie. My wife and I went to the cinema. I thought, and here's the thing, maybe because I wasn't expecting anything. I was expecting to see the movie trash movie. There's this genre.
I know the scene which you loved. The scene where there's this spiked monster who had who made a shashlik of people. He made shish kebab of people. I know. I definitely know that was the scene that you like. You're like, that's great. I want that's comedy.
So yeah, and the Black Widow stuff, it's the same. I saw the reviews; they're horrible.
Well, the thing is, the movie I watched it yesterday. I did not watch it through a pirated. No, I never would do that ever. So I watched it yesterday,
and Ivan is a great driver. Yeah.
So here's the thing: the movie is. I think it's good. But here's what happens. So they're trying to speak Russian, okay? But the problem is they're trying to fake the Russian accent so bad. It was like, why are you doing this?
Dude, just remember the name of the character, Natasha Romanoff. There is no such fucking name as Romanoff.
Man, have you seen what was it called? Born Identity, like those Born movies.
Yeah,
he has one where he has a Russian passport. If you haven't, there's a meme about it. Just try Born Russian passport. His name is Shiklev. I swear to God, his name is literally Shiklev. It's like, what the his name is literally someone who just bashed the keyboard with their face and they just threw it.
Is it so difficult to hire a consultant who would tell you proper Russian names?
Go to little Kiev or little Moscow, I don't know, wherever in the US, and just ask a kid around. Or
Brighton Bitch.
Bright Bitch or Bright Beach?
Brighton Bitch.
Brighton Bitch? What is that? Is that a bitch you know?
It's a district, I think, somewhere in LA or New York. And it's a Russian district, so a lot of Russians live there.
And find a butcher's kid, give him like $5. The guy will translate all of Putin's speech for you.
Oh, yes.
But yeah. So in there, they're trying to fake the accent so bad. I swear to God, at one point, for me, it looked like a guy from India on technical support trying to act as if they're Russian. When you hear it, you will know what I'm talking about. Okay, you will instantly go, Abed, and they will kick you from the cinema. And now, so how I watched it is each time they opened their mouth, I would mute and just imagine the dialogue. And I can tell you,
That's very entertaining, I
I
think.
swear it's so fucking funny because when I do that, actually the movie still makes sense. You literally don't lose anything. So for me, a great movie like Die Hard. Die Hard 1 is an amazing movie because you literally cannot mute it. Mute any movie, and if you still understand that fucking movie, that's a shit movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Somewhat like what Predator. Well, actually, Predator, you can even like Charlie Chaplin would be in it, and you would understand the whole movie. It doesn't matter, But like, what's a movie that if they open their mouth, you can watch through it? Definitely none of the Nolan movies.
No, definitely none of the Nolan movies. Yeah, that's true.
You would not lose the plot. That's what I'm saying.
I know such movie, but it will be in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd.
The first or the second?
The second.
Yeah.
The second one was actually good because the one with Sylvester Stallone sucked.
The one with Sylvester Stallone, I would watch it 10 times because it was that much bad.
Yeah, exactly. The second one with Carl Urban, I think the name of the guy.
Yeah.
He is amazing, Judge Dredd.
he's
Really,
good.
this is like old school action movie, and the judge is the character. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but
No negotiations. You die.
go watch. I think it's a good movie, but then again, like if you can watch a movie muted and you don't lose the plot, sorry, that's not a good movie.
And that's Fast and Furious. And by the way, every single movie, some people say the first movie was great. It wasn't, guys.
No.
It was bad.
I even used to say that the first movie is good. I went back. I was like, no.
I can tell you that actually Transformers, the first movie, I more or less enjoyed.
Don't let me start on Transformers, man. When someone tells me Transformers is a good movie, if they recommend me a movie, I love Gladiator. I know there's some parts that doesn't make sense, but
With Russell Crowe, you
with
mean,
Russell
yeah?
Crowe, is there any other movie? Did you find the porn version? Never mind.
There was a sequel, actually.
What?
Mm.
To Gladiator.
Yep.
Maximus, what? Does he come back from the dead?
I don't know, but it was called Gladiator 2.
Oh my Allah. Okay, this
We
is
pretend that it doesn't exist, so...
okay, but now I want to watch it. Fucking hell. But yeah, what the fuck? So if someone who loves Transformers and tells me Gladiator is a great movie, I would never watch Gladiator.
Definitely.
Nope, Gladiator is a shit movie. I don't know. So, anyways, sorry for like veering off really far away, man.
Yeah, but that's what we do. That's why people love listening to this. Because funny thing is that the most listened to episodes of this show was the first one with you and the last one before this one. So they they got the one where we were discussing storytelling, how to write story.
Yeah.
That got a lot of listens.
That was such a fun episode.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
So then this is the mistake that I thought that you are annoyed by when you laugh after your own joke. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the laughter. Well, the thing is, I do it. That's why, I do it. And the problem is, I know it makes. Yes, we are enjoying our jokes. I get it. We say what's funny for us, but at the same time, one, you lose time. You actually lose like a second or two when you laugh at your own, shit. And the second thing is that let's take in consideration that the audience don't laugh, and you laugh. You look really dumb.
Yeah, you look dumb. Yeah, I agree.
Really, really, really.
I agree. Yeah, that's out of place, completely out of place.
Exactly. And the third thing about this is that when you do this, like they laugh and you laugh, I think it the idea of for me sometimes is comedy is you trying to keep a straight face and them laughing. I think that's the funniest thing. Like smile or like a smile, not laugh. You say, I know what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you give this vibe, I know, like James Acaster had a great idea. I was listening to him on the podcast, and he goes, "Get on stage, don't say anything for the first 10 seconds, and then look at the audience and go, thank you." And you know what that conveys? The audience will instantly think, this guy knows what he's doing. It doesn't matter if you have no idea what to do. I did that when I was starting, like when I heard that thing and I started doing it, like that was my first 6 months. And I would do that, and you could see their eyes go, he knows. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you know, it's this. So if you don't laugh, they will be laughing. They'll look at you, and you're like, yeah, I know. It doesn't matter how much you're shitting yourself. It's this idea of, you know, you're leading them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
to the slaughter or to the laughter.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
But then I think that the one mistake that the one mistake that I think would be the most painful to realize, to come to realization with, was the mistake number 8, and I would actually, not mistake number 8, mistake number 7, which goes like this. While failing miserably, I will say that my joke deserves a bigger laugh, or even a bigger laugh with an applause break, and I'm gonna tell them that. Reason, you're indirectly insulting the audience, which might shut them off to you. This is not a solution, more of a reminder. And then goes, I'm gonna read all of this because I think that people need to hear that.
Okay.
It is never the audience's fault. Yes, some days you will have people coming to the show to just become offended. They woke up that day, reserve the table at stand-up show just to get offended by whatever you say. You will get a day when the host fucks up so bad that the audience already hates you before you even get on stage. You will get a performer who insults the audience to the point that when you get on stage, they leave, or a performer that does so well and you follow them with still not 100% sure material, and you get a bit sadder than you usually are. You power through your set, complain a bit after the gig, then work on your material, and don't. That is up to you. Or don't. That is up to you. Don't surrender to excuses, or else you will be on the same level you are and never improve.
Okay. Well, first of all, for whoever's listening, I love you. This the thing is, didn't Kirill sound like Google Translate reading?
Exactly.
And because you know why? Because I can see it. You're not seeing the commas, or like there are no commas, so you're just reading through it. You know, you're like, wait, I should be stopping here. Just one thing about the thing that I wrote about the PS thing. Yeah.
Hmm?
So first of all, we've been doing this for like a while, let's say. So you all already know that it's not the audience fault. It's retarded to say that the audience didn't get your joke, okay? But one other thing, there's a small justification to it. Like, not justification. Like, the idea is that literally there are times when the audience comes to the show, they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's going on. And they just sit there and they look at you. And they don't feel a connection, you know? It's not your fault. It's literally not your fault. It's just a bad day, let's say. You have another idea where literally people came to get offended and to look at you in a really judgmental way because they had a shit day.
But to be fair, that's the minority.
Minority, it's like these are the days that will happen.
Of course.
It's not about minority. So for example, from 10 performances, you'll have 1 or 2 like this.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I would say
know?
that. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah,
You'll have 1 or 2 like this. There's also a day where I'll say the host will fuck up so bad. The host will do 40 minutes of nothing and then present the next comedian, and you will be that next comedian. You will have to get on stage, look at the audience in the eye of them looking at you like, so you're going to repeat the shit that he did. You know?
Don't make eye contact with the audience that day.
They're just now, they turned from lamps. They turned from, you know, they wanted to listen to fucking wolves. And they're like, we hate you. You know, you will get either, as I said, the comedian who gets on stage and goes, you're shit. And someone who thinks they're edgy or an insult comedian. You know, someone who will get on stage and talk about killing babies and you will have to follow that with "I love my girlfriend" or "I love my baby,"
Or I have a baby.
yeah, exactly. You know, you will have a comedian who's amazing. We were performing at another place with I don't know if you know him. His name is Genia Shibatkov, a really, really good comedian. Like, wow, like really. And I had to follow him. I'm like, how the fuck can I follow this guy? And he did 40 minutes, and I have to do 20 minutes after him.
Wow.
You know, I was telling like it was Ivan Yavitz, like he was hosting.
What the fuck was the order?
Yeah, I was like, Ivan, so what's up? What did I do exactly? Like, how much hate do you, like, what's up, man? You know? But the thing is, like, you will get these days, you know? You will get the day. I love yeah, and another thing. And you have to follow this. You have to follow an amazing comedian. And you have to be on the top of your game. You know, the thing with it is that a comedian, I think you notice, like, this joke has bigger applause break. Yeah, or like usually gets an applause break. Blah, blah. Why are you saying this to the audience?
Unfortunately, have to interrupt you there. Unfortunately, I tend to hear it more often these days from many different comedians.
I want to ask. So I talk too much. So why do you think this is bad? Why do you think that, like, when a comedian she says this joke deserves more laughs, more applause? Why do you think this is bad?
You basically question and challenge the mind of people. If somebody would say something like that to me, I would think, do you think I'm stupid? Like, this is, and I would take that as an insult. Because I'm not laughing because I didn't get your joke. I got your joke. It's not funny. Yeah, that's the thing. And as far as comedians go, like you said, there can be good days and bad days. There are times when the audience is just so want to be offended. Yeah. But at the same time, there are, and I've been so many times in this situation, when a particular type of jokes doesn't work with a particular type of audience, and it is your job as a comedian to adapt to that. Like, you want to joke about porn and murders, children and so on and so forth, but the guy before you did that and he bombed miserably, probably not the best idea to go out there with the same type of jokes. Yeah, well, the thing is that, the thing with this, let's say you have, for example, a dirty comedian, and you're a dirty dirty comedian. A dirty comedian who just literally shits themselves. Like, they shit on the audience already. The moment you get on stage, there are two ways to do this, I think. One, you have to have a joke that's always in the bag. Like, of course, not one joke, many, that will get them to laugh, or at least get the majority to laugh. The moment the majority laughs, the minority will laugh. It's same as voting or non-voting in the case of some countries, But, wink, wink.
But jab at politics. No, but and another thing, if you're gonna, I think there's a way to do this, is that comment on what that comedian did.
Exactly.
Make a joke about it. Usually, it's the host who does this. He gets on stage, he makes a comment, he flips it, and he makes like people laugh. And it makes them a bit, okay, we can now chill out. But if you get on stage instantly with whatever, after that, it's so good, it pushes you to do something. And that's why now, like I told you, each time now I have at least one line or two lines. I hope that they will make the audience laugh. Mm-hmm. I try to do it. If they laugh, great. If they don't laugh, I'm kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And so the thing with this one is that saying you guys are not, understand my jokes, everything, it insults the intelligence, as you said. And it's actually, I think it's an insult to you as a comedian.
Of course. Here's the thing. It's like every other thing that you do in your life. When you start begging
Life lessons from Kirill Voronin.
Exactly. Yeah. 28 years old. I know this shit. I've lived the life.
That's the funniest shit you said, man.
When,
I'm sorry, that was so funny. I'm 8 years old. I know my shit.
well, Abed actually has the right to laugh because you're like 35 or something like that.
No, I'm. Continue talking.
So I think that whenever you start begging for anything, for more money, for for the laughs, for the laughs, it diminishes you in the eyes of the audience. Definitely. Because you're like, is this guy a professional or what?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, guys. And this is the reason why I'll go a little bit
Sure.
Yeah, to the other side.
It's not like something we haven't done before.
Yeah, sure. Here's the thing. I hosting an open mic, and I only host open mics right now because I don't have enough experience to host more important shows. I want to make even the open mic a good quality show. And when people are, and there is an opinion like, why? Because it's an open mic. People come there to test their material. It doesn't mean that every single comedian must be shit. And I have a justification for that because audience doesn't give a fuck that it's an open mic. Yeah, you can say that at the beginning of the show, but at the end of the day, in the eyes of people, they came to a comedy show. They don't care about your system of what is this? Is it for rookies or for experienced comedians? No. They came to a comedy show, they want to laugh, and they don't give a fuck. So if for them, 8 out of 10 comedians were shit, didn't make them laugh, chances are they will never come back to the place again.
By the way, at one point, this is therapy. This is comedy therapy for Kirill. If you can see his face, the anger that's coming out, I'm afraid for myself.
I don't have a knife on me, so.
Man, I can see how red you are, so it's freaking me the fuck out, man. But I agree with you. And you know what? The thing with this, you can't say an open mic is. How did you put it? It's just an open mic.
Let's say you can say that an open mic is a B show or a C show.
There's for me. There's no such thing as a C or a B or whatever show.
I know, but that's what people usually say.
I'm just saying about myself. No, I'm maybe there's until this day I have no idea what alternative comedy means.
Me neither.
I've seen people do something called alternative. Is it I don't know, maybe you guys, is it alternative comedy when it's not funny? I don't get it.
I really no, I don't know the definition, because you see there is always a clear definition to every single term. Yeah, alternative comedy, I don't know the definition, but when I hear alternative comedy, the first person that comes to my mind is Stuart Lee.
But Stuart Lee was for me, Stuart Lee was deconstructing comedy. He was doing comedy.
Maybe that's why they called it alternative comedy, because instead of building it, you're deconstructing it. I don't know.
But is it alternative? but it is comedy.
Destructive comedy.
Well, no, but he's not. He's actually deconstructing the genre of a stand-up comedy show.
I think here's the thing. I think that just because he doesn't do what the majority of the comedians do, they call it. They think it's something different.
Well,
probably because of that.
Okay, then in that way, then improv is alternative comedy.
Maybe.
I don't get it. So what else? If let's say the majority of comedians talk about their mothers and a comedian or talk about how for example how comedy is therapy for them, let's say, and the minority don't, is that alternative? I don't know. I think comedy is comedy. You're there, you make people laugh. That's amazing. But anyway, going back to the thing, is that when you say that an open mic is a B or a C show, you're insulting the comedians, literally. The second, who the fuck are you to say that? That one thing. This is something about the crowd work that when I heard that, this is always on my head. So I use famous comedians because I love to listen to experiences and I love to incorporate that experience in what I know. So Bill Burr, this is a story from Bill Burr. He was once doing a comedy show. And he's the headliner. So the comedians are rolling, everything is great. And suddenly, I don't remember how many comedians, but I know that there were 2, I think they were there. So he's doing this comedy show, and he's the headliner. and he's in the green room. Suddenly he hears the host go, "Oh, Chris Rock is here. He wants to do 15 minutes or 20." And so Chris Rock gets on stage, destroys. He just showed up. Chris Rock leaves the stage. Then the host wants to present the next comedian. Oh, Dave Chappelle has entered. He wants to do 15 or 20 minutes. He lets Dave Chappelle, gets on stage, does, 15, 20, 3 hours, leaves, destroys, leaves. Then, now, here's it. Bill Burr at that time, he was not like commercially famous, you know? And then Dave Chappelle finishes. The host is, ready to present like the next comedian or Bill Burr, whatever. And who enters? Louis C.K.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Louis C.K. enters, destroys. They were not on the how do you call it? On the roster, or they were not on
the list, yeah.
Yeah. They're not on the poster. Bill Burr is the headliner. These guys just found themselves next to a comedy club, and imagine a really famous comedian, someone like really, really good. He just saw, oh, there's a comedy club. I'm gonna check if I can do 15 or 20. So you want to tell me, when here an open mic here, someone who goes, "You guys don't understand my jokes." Really? Really? Like, then work on your fucking jokes. If these guys, these like really good comedians, and like not only like really good, fucking amazing comedians, people who you look at is like, how did he do this? This is amazing. I want to do this, And then Bill Burr goes after them, after Chris Rock. I think it's like really, really good. He goes and he also kills. So that's my mentality of it. You have to, like, if they kill, or if they don't kill, you have to go and say, you do your best. Yes, sometimes you'll have a shit day. Sometimes it will be shit days with a Z, not an S, with like 3 Z's and a fucking dildo
on your face. Right.
Yeah, But you get on stage, you do your best, and that's why I think it's really dumb to go. It's you guys don't understand, or this deserves. But the thing is, if they laugh at it and then you add that comment, I think that's much funnier.
Of course,
like
Definitely.
If they laugh and you go, "I like your laugh, but last time I did it got a bigger laugh," and they will be like, "You know what? We're gonna laugh at the next joke bigger."
And it's even with the bad performances, like you said, if you're hosting that, you see that a comedian bombs, you need to comment on that, I think, because we had a show and there was a guy who, like at the beginning, he said something about that he's single and blah, blah, blah. And then he went on a 4.5-minute political tirade, going slightly anti-Semitic. And basically bashing the Black Lives Matter and so on and so forth.
Slightly anti-Semitic.
Yep. I want to stab the Jews, I don't want to kill them.
He's slightly anti-Semitic. Anyway, sorry.
And so it was not a good set, yeah. And the crowd was seemingly, some of them even seemed like very offended by what they just heard. And so he leaves. I get on stage, I'm like, fuck, I need to do something, yeah, because there are 5 more people, I need to do something to warm up the atmosphere. So I get on stage, I look at him, and he went to the front table. Yeah, he was sitting there. Look at him, and I was like, dude, if that is what you tell to every single girl when you take her out on a date, it's no wonder you're still single. And that kind of warmed up the crowd.
Yeah, you have to do this. Like, either like you comment on it, it's still fresh in their head. But like there's sometimes when I see hosts do this really weird thing, I think it's very weird. After a comedian like bombs or kills or whatever, they get on stage and then they start a bit, and it's not a normal bit. It's like a 5-minute bit. Fuck it, it's a 3-minute bit. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
What is this?
Yeah, what this? and they expect it to work. Like, what are you doing exactly? I don't get it. I love it when you do. I love it when you do this. No, I love it when, like, for example, after for example, I perform. You get on stage. You have one comment. They laugh. You're like, okay, here's your next motherfucker. I think it's very good. It makes them go, yeah, the host, he's fresh, he's on his toes. It makes them go. You know what's so funny for it? I noticed this when hosting. At points, they start looking forward for you to come back on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the heights. No, so I feel sad for this sometimes, and I feel really happy with this. Really happy that it means I'm actually doing. I must be doing something good, Well, my life is all going shit. At least something has to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
And the second thing is so sad that sometimes that means that almost all your performers or comedians were shit.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Or when you can just overshine the other performers.
Well, the thing with the overshining, you're the host. You will overshine.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because people will associate the show with you.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you right now, you're in front of your daughter 24/7. Imagine me showing up every 2 days, hello, honey, and then I fuck off, It's the same thing. They're your babies. Sorry for this weird analogy.
Okay.
But they're your babies. You're almost always in front of them. They will remember your fucking face.
Yeah, definitely. I agree
Which
with
would
that.
be weird. They remember your fucking face. Oh, I don't know.
It's that guy. I think I saw him somewhere.
But it would be great if you have comedians who kill. But it would be amazing if they remember you after a shit show. It's you're doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely.
And it means your comedians on me. Which is for me, it was sad. This is so when I used to host and people, oh, you were the best of the show. It used to really make me angry, really make me. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good. I'm not gonna say it's not bad, but it means that they were not enjoying the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
This is not good for this is not good for example, if you want to test material, and you're you're the headliner. Well, the headliner in an open mic, sadly, it's the thing is, in Russia now, in English, let's say talk about the English scene in Russia, yeah? I think it's very weak.
In general, I have to agree with that.
There are 5-6 performers who you actually know who have a tight 10 in
That's
English.
it?
I'm not talking about in
of
I'm
course.
talking about in English, a tight 10, only what? I don't know how many, 8?
6 to 8 people. Yeah, I wouldn't
Probably, and imagine now me and you are really 6 and 8, and this is a very bad thing. And the comedians, comedians, performers, whatever, they should acknowledge that at least. This is why, when I was writing these mistakes, it's mostly for me. And when you said, oh, someone looked at it and they were angry, I would appreciate that if they would learn, but I didn't write it for them. And they shouldn't be angry at me if that happens. They should be angry at themselves.
No, I'm not talking about being angry at you, because, sometimes it takes another person to say something that another person knows, but they don't want to admit that.
Okay, I'll tell you something weirder. So when the thing is that if it comes out for example, from me, they don't accept it. If it comes out from someone who they think is more experienced or has a bit more authority, this is very important. They have to have a bit more authority.
Yeah.
Not experience, not good. They have to have a bit more authority. They will listen to them. And that makes me a little bit angry. Well,
of course.
By a little bit, I mean too angry.
No.
It's because it means that, wait, so you don't, one of the biggest mistakes that everybody does, I sit in the back and I look at them and I don't see any of them getting on stage with their phone to record their set or making someone record them.
Yeah.
And I can see that they're not learning. I can see some performers record their sets and they still do the same shit. They still hear that, for example, nobody laughed. And then they come next week and that happens. The problem with the Russian English scene, sorry for...
No, it's okay.
The problem with the Russian English scene, we don't have that many shows.
True. Yeah, we don't.
Yesterday I was listening to Mark Normand, amazing comedian. Yeah, amazing comedian.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about how they used to perform once a week, not twice, not 3 times like we have. Once a week they used to perform before they started touring around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to work on their material the whole week, go on stage, kill. The next week they had to come up with new 5 minutes.
Yeah, because
with a new material.
yeah, because they're all the same people there.
The thing with that, I loved it, the solidarity. In, I think it was Iceland, or I'm not sure. There's a comedian, his name is Ismo Laikola. Amazing. He's a one-liner in a way, you know? He had the same thing. They have the one show every week. The same people came to the show every week. So they had to come up with new material every fucking week.
Yep.
You know? And this is such a good thing. I think it's amazing. But sometimes there's a small mistake some people do is every week they have to have new material. So they don't work on a tight 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's also one of the mistakes that you
But the thing is,
pointed out.
But the thing is with that is, let's say me, you, and some other comedians sit down for like 2 hours and we work on the, not I criticize, we work on on material, your, mine, their material. We work on it. Me and Ivan, me and you, we do this like from time again. Like we talked about this before. Like, hey man, this is funny. Where do you think? Like,
Yeah.
we start poking around. Me and Ivan, we sit and we just start shooting the shit. And I also go, oh, this is a funny idea, you know. And then like, we start like giving each other some, how do you call this? Our perspective or anything, and we start building.
Uh-huh.
You know. But in the Russian English scene, again, I don't see that, and I don't like that. Yesterday we were doing a show, and to be honest, I was expecting much more, and I was like, "What the fuck, guys? I've seen you do well, but now what the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
You know. The thing is, and another thing, I should write this mistake. But because I didn't do this, so this is not a mistake. This is not my mistake. When I started doing this, maybe because I started doing this when I was like already 30. Anyways, so I had already. I challenged myself every week. I will do something new. I will get on stage. I will sit on a chair. I will grab the mic stand. I will do whatever. I'll stand on stage. I'll fart on stage. Doesn't matter. I will do anything I can to have something new every week, every 2 weeks. I will do something new. Anything, you know? And at that time, we only had like 2 shows a week, you know? One of them was clean material. The other one was dirty material. And for clean material, you had to have clean material.
Yeah.
And the guys, no matter how much dictatorship they were, I'm not absolving dictatorships, but, or like giving them a green pass, okay? But the thing is, there should have been a joke there. Never mind. So no matter, you had to have good material. Not, I will test this. Like yesterday, I've seen comedians do some really untested material. I don't mean like really untested. You know, I know, like, really, you don't even like you yourself don't think this is funny. You know, I know this is going now like depressing, but this is the what I'm seeing in the scene at the moment.
It is what it is. I mean,
yeah, sadly, you know, I would love to see more of it, but no. Like again, you see a comedian record themselves. I was like, great, she are recording themselves. Then I see them get on stage and do the same fucking shit. Now, I know I just called their material shit. But the thing is, so if a joke doesn't work 3, 4, 5 times, there's something wrong with the fucking joke. You got what I'm saying?
Right.
Even if you're doing it in front of 2 people, there's something wrong with that fucking joke. You know, check the motherfucker out. Do something with it. I don't see any change. One comedian, it's she. I've seen how like she records herself, and I've seen how she's improving. not fast because everybody is busy. Like people are not going with this as much as hardcore. Like I don't want to say as I would like them to be, but when like there was one time when I invited one comedian to a special show, and they disappointed me so bad. I didn't invite them ever again. Like when I get the chance for that show, I don't invite them. That's it. Zero. No, minus. Ay. And it's for me, it's a sad thing. I would love to invite them back, but no. Well, if I get the chance again.
Okay. Gotcha. And
gotcha. Now let's go back to the rapey topic.
Yep. Speaking of comedians who put other people to sleep, but not by the way of comedy, by the way of intoxication.
What the fuck? That was really, why? Were you preparing this?
Yep.
I
actually put some thought into that.
Oh my god, that's so good, man.
So the last topic for today that we're going to discuss very briefly. I know it's mainstream news in comedy world, but I think that this is pretty much important to discuss. Yeah. Bill Cosby.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
So
that was so anticlimactic
no,
right now.
No. It's not about this. Here's so when you were like, this is a very important news, For me, for example, I would say like, fuck this news. This is actually a problem in communication. This is a problem like between comedians here in this scene. We reject so many ideas. It's amazing.
Yeah, true.
It's retarded. It's not amazing. It's retarded how much. I was like, wow. Could you stop rejecting the fucking ideas?
True.
So anyways, our family guy.
Yeah, our family guy, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby. For those of you who don't know who Bill Cosby is, then why the fuck do you even care about comedy? But still.
Minus.
An insult. Accidental insult, yeah. So Bill Cosby is one of the most popular and one of the most influential comedians of not even modern era of the last century, I would say.
Yeah, probably. How old is he?
He's 80. He's 83, I believe, yeah.
Fucking hell.
So Bill Cosby, along with comedians like George Carlin, for example, Richard Pryor, they paved the way to modern day stand-up comedy. Cosby hasn't just been a stand-up comedian. He did one of the most popular shows in American history. The sitcom that he had.
Yeah, The Cosby Show.
Yeah, The Cosby Show.
Family show.
Exactly. Was one of the most successful and one of the most influential sitcoms of that era, even today.
Not only that, from what I understood, he was like helping a lot of, let's say, in the black community. He was, I don't like that word, to be honest. I don't like black, in the American community. He was helping a lot. From what I read a bit about it. And I remember I used to watch every episode of The Cosby Show. I used to love the sweater that he has.
Yeah, the sweater was perfect.
Very weird for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that sweater. I was like, what? And then like this news broke out. So yeah, sorry.
So Bill Cosby, several years ago, he was taken to court and he was prosecuted for intoxicating and allegedly raping multiple women. And fingering, to be precise. So basically intoxicating them, drugging them, and having sexual intercourse with them while they were asleep.
So just say raping.
Raping, yeah. Come on, let me sound a little bit official.
Okay, I'm sorry. You wanted to sound a bit like newsy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Drama alert.
Okay.
Many, and as if you believe the victims, the alleged victims of his, this conduct dates back to 1980s and 1990s, even the end of 70s. Yeah, so the guy was rocking and rolling for a very long time. Then several years ago, this story with Bill Cosby, it actually, I believe, sparked the beginning of that Me Too movement, as well as cancel culture. He was one of the first people to get.
He's one. I remember when I was reading an article about this. It was like one of the crown. That was in the article. One of the crown achievements of the Me Too movement.
That was him and probably Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein was a piece of
True. But apparently he's been doing that for more than 30 years. And women came out, his victims came out with allegations against him only 20 years later. And there were so many of them that it was enough for the court, plus some evidence, of course, was enough for the court to prosecute him and to sentence him to a 3 to 10 year sentence in a prison outside Philadelphia, as they said. And guess what? So he was sent to prison 3 years ago, and everyone seemed to have forgotten about that. And all of a sudden, on Wednesday, June 30th, I believe, the news broke out that Bill Cosby was actually released from prison. So he served 3-year sentence, the minimum of what he was sentenced to. And he was released. The court actually overturned the decision and they released him. So let me quote the article from New York Times. Bill Cosby was released from prison Wednesday after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his 2018 conviction for sexual assault, a dramatic reversal in one of the first high-profile criminal trials of the #MeToo era. The court's decision seemed likely to end the Pennsylvania case, legal experts said, and while more than 50 women came across the nation have accused Mr. Cosby of sexual assault and misconduct, statutes of limitations in their cases makes further prosecutions unlikely. Cosby, 83 years old, returned to his home in suburban Philadelphia on Wednesday afternoon, where looking frail and walking slowly, he was helped inside by his lawyer and a spokesman. He flashed a V sign as he reached his front door. So that is a pretty important piece of news. Because if you remember how the trial went down 3 years ago, it was built as this huge case, basically of a century almost, that, and a lot of people were surprised.
I think he went to prison for
3 years.
No, he went to,
one case, you mean, yeah?
One case, that was the one case, and the funny thing is, well, not funny, sorry, but it is actually funny that case was dated to 2005.
So yeah, very recently you can say.
You see, the case was in 2005, and he got in prison. In 2018. So it took 13 years for this case to blow out again or whatever.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I wanted to go a little bit serious on that because there were a lot of people who say that, oh, this is just a conspiracy against him. Why didn't those women come to the police right from the get-go? I can say that from the experience of my family, because my wife openly spoke about that. She has also been the victim of sexual assault, basically. And there are a lot of reasons why women who suffer from that don't go to the police. First of all, they're freaking scared. They're freaking scared, especially if they're of young age. Second of all, most of his victims, alleged victims.
If they're of young age, if they're of old age, they don't care. They're so happy.
Yeah, they're so happy.
Man, do it. Cosby, man.
Second of all, even if we're talking about adult women, who are over 20, 30 years old, we're talking about Bill Cosby doing that in his prime, 80s, 70s, and 90s. Yeah. Bill Cosby was such a big name. He was a huge name in America. It wasn't like, oh, another comedian, in the world even, It wasn't like, oh, another comedian. No, he was a international superstar. And you can explain why they didn't go to the police with that, because they were like, who would believe us? He would just... push us to the wall with his lawyers and stuff like
Where
that.
are you going with this?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
I haven't even started, and you want to cancel me, man?
No. Well, he kind of looked like Bill Cosby a little
Fuck
bit.
off. Not rapey yet.
Yeah. So there were a lot of women who spoke out against him. I think it were 50-something women, spoke out, but without any evidence, because a lot of those cases date back 30 years ago. Yeah.
Whatever. It's sorry to say this. It's like I don't like this topic, but anyways, it's like child molestation.
Yeah.
It's like pedophilia. It's the kid's word against whoever it is.
Yeah. Exactly. And you would believe that, if it's 1, 2, maybe even 3 people, then you would believe, there can be some conspiracy theory. We're talking about 50 women. 50 women. Yes, no evidence, unfortunately, because such kind of, behavior should be punished. It should be punished. But he was punished. For some people, not enough.
Definitely not enough.
Yeah, definitely not enough.
Well,
Here's what I wanted to talk about.
All of this introduction, and we haven't reached the point.
Yeah, it's more about the influence that Bill Cosby had on the comedy world. Here, I wanted to talk about this thing, because we have this cancel culture right now, where people just get canceled.
Yeah.
They get canceled. Nobody wants to work with them, and basically, people do everything that they can to wipe these people out from the history.
Okay.
Bill Cosby, how can you look at Bill Cosby as a comedian, and together with Bill Cosby as a person who committed all of these really bad crimes, awful crimes, yeah? Mm-hmm. How would you look at those two?
Well, so I felt there was a fucking trap there. Oh man, I'm gonna fall right in this now. So first of all, I don't think that this cancel culture thing is related to it's how do you call this? It's injustice to link them. Bill Cosby raped women. Well, I could say allegedly rape, but then again, I think 50. That's the very weird part. But you see, there's something in this, and you cannot he's not related to cancel culture. This guy raped. It's what? It's like relating the what do you call it? The priests who used to molest kids.
You mean that it's justified accusations? It's not like he did not do that.
It's not about this. So you have cancel culture. It's a culture of Twitter, basically. You post shit on Twitter, people report it, and then someone cancels you. Bill Cosby was doing really horrible shit. It's like Harvey Weinstein was really doing horrible shit. And then you cannot relate it to cancel. Fuck the cancel. This is totally not related to cancel culture. This is for me. This guy. I'll give you an example. If the thing with the church. Remember there was like these things that priests, really high officials, were molesting kids. You can't say, they molested kids. Let's link them to cancel culture or like atheism or like religion,
Mm-hmm.
No, these motherfuckers did some horrible shit. You get what I'm saying? And in relation to comedy, then it comes to this. It's like this. I like this. There's someone who said the good dictator. It's the idea of a good dictator. And so if you don't know what's a dictator or whatever, I'm just not going to drop names. A dictator is someone who rapes his own country, literally. The wealth of the country, the people of the country, the land is his. It's not yours. You don't have a right in it. The one, Carlin had a joke about this, the only right you have is right this way to fucking prison. Yeah, but Carlin had it in a different way. Bless his soul. So you can't. But let's say one dictator, he did good things for his country. You know, he built bridges, he made their economy work. You know, but at the same time, he used to fucking kill people. I'll give you like an example. Gaddafi. Actually, this was I was actually listening to this today, just today. Gaddafi. You can't imagine the amount of innocence in university. He literally took them and just killed them. And he went. This is on. You can find it. He went. Yeah, I murdered innocent people. I condemned innocent people to death. Okay, I condemned innocent people to death so that the bad people are afraid of me, and I don't know who the bad people are.
Shit.
You know, I know killing. Well, I can't say it's this is horrible and this is horrible. It's the same thing. Like raping, killing. It's the same horrible shit that happens to give you like the same. In Islam, for example, in Islam, if you rape, if you kill, we call it an eye for an eye. You know, if the person is not, how to say prostitute? Forgiven by the family, he dies. There's no such thing. Like, this is in Islam, of course. We're not talking about what's happening now. This guy dies, or person, like guy, girl, whatever.
There is a saying in Russian. It goes like, "You can only wash the blood off by blood."
By blood, literally. But I can't say like I agree with it or I don't agree with it. We're not talking here about this thing, but what we're talking about is you cannot relate cancel. Like, sorry, I know I'm really, but you cannot relate cancel culture to someone who rapes. You know. But again, now was Bill Cosby the same as a good dictator? So he did good to his. It's Dave Chappelle had a joke about this.
Yeah, I remember.
He made a joke about this. You know, he did good, but he rapes. You know, and I don't want it to make it as funny because, well, sometimes you can make rape jokes funny, okay? But in this situation, sorry to say this, I am not a woman. I think a woman, as you said, like your wife, like she's amazing, she's strong, and you know, who's been in a similar thing, she would understand it more than me. Did he do good? Yes. Does it wash what he did? I don't think so, in my opinion. I don't think so. If you can justify that, then yeah, then every dictator who killed his people are justified. They can do whatever they want. Okay, we'll kill 50 people to save 1 million.
The reason why
not save. Sorry for this. Sorry,
yeah.
I apologize. Not save 1 million to build something.
Yeah,
you know, but. It's not a fair comparison because in dictatorships, one of the bad things about dictatorships is after the dictator is removed, dies, whatever, there's a void in power, and that creates conflict, a huge conflict that almost never stops, you know, between many powers, because a dictator gets his power from bribing, you know, certain people, from not gaining their trust, gaining their loyalty. Well, more like fear and a bit of loyalty, yeah? The moment this fear disappears from this guy, that loyalty, of course, disappears. And this fear turns into guns pointed at each other, and we want that seat, yeah? In Bill Cosby's case, again, does it wash what he did? I think it's not it's for the women who were involved. They are the ones who could say yes or no. If they forgive him, they forgive him. If they don't forgive him, 100%. You know, I think he should go to every woman. I'll tell you something really interesting. So if you've never, I was reading about South Africa. So South Africa in the apartheid time, it was, you know, apartheid. You know, whites, blacks, and all this. So Nelson Mandela and Bishop Desmond Tutu did a great thing, which was they made everybody know what apartheid is. And at one point, they let the people, the jailers, let's call them the jailers, yeah, meet the jailees. I know. Prisoners.
Jaylees.
Did I just say jailees? That's such a retard.
Jaylee sounds like a name of a new pop star.
Yeah. A new rap pop star, a new genre, Fuck K-pop. This is rap pop, motherfucker. Wow, I would listen to that actually, So hit him up, but pop star, but Britney Spears sings it. Hit him. I don't know how to say it. This is so weird. So yeah, they would meet. And the person who was in under torture and everything would meet the person who used to torture them, and so the jailer would ask forgiveness of the prisoner. There are stories of this. I don't think there are many or not. To be honest, I can't remember. But there's in another country where there were massacres between people of the same nation killing each other.
Wow.
Yeah, and not only neighbor. Sorry, guys, for this being very depressing, but hey, this is the world.
Hey, this is a comedy podcast.
Yeah, exactly. A neighbor would enter his neighbors who've been together for 20 years, and he would kill his whole family. Imagine, it was between two tribes. I cannot remember the thing, but I can find it. So they would do that. And at one point when everything was, I think it was in Rwanda. I'm not sure. So at one point, they went, the people who used to do the killing started asking for forgiveness. So one thing that pisses me off about this, 50 women, let's say half of them is true. Let's say all of them is true. If Bill Cosby was actually the Bill Cosby show guy, the guy who used to call comedians, used to call Eddie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, and tell them, don't swear on stage, it's bad. And they would tell him, fuck off. Like Richard Pryor tell you to fuck off. Yeah. If that's the person, then he's the biggest hypocrite if that's it, and he doesn't go for every person and ask them for forgiveness, no matter how old he is, then he should, sorry to say this, he should go fuck himself. And for me, no matter what he did, he isn't forgiven unless these people forgive him.
And that's why I asked this question actually, is because there are a lot of, but there are some very brutal and scary occasions when you have to deal with a person who did something really good in some sphere, was a big influence, and then they do something very bad, awful, and you have to choose basically how in your head such an influential comedian like Bill Cosby can coexist with the rapist Bill Cosby. And the other question that comes out is, what is the line that is crossed, that when it's crossed, that's it. The person cannot be forgiven despite all the input that he had made.
Okay. This is more like social, more philosophy.
Yeah, can I just, because you're going to be drawing the conclusion from this. Yeah, I would just wanted to give another example. This is from my favorite type of entertainment, apart from comedy, from professional wrestling.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say porn.
We'll tell Nikki Ben's story some other time, yeah. So if you've ever watched pro wrestling, I don't know who watches it apart from me, but still, there was a wrestler by the name of Chris Benoit. He was one of the best in the ring. He was one of the best of his generation. He paved the way to a lot of smaller wrestlers, who don't have that big of a height or that much of a physique into the world of pro wrestling. He won multiple world championships and he had a Hall of Fame career. Then in 2007, he murdered his family. He strangled his wife. So here's how it happened. I need to describe it in details.
Comedy podcast.
Yeah, so he had a falling out with his wife. He strangled her. He broke her back, and this has been happening for 15 minutes. So then he, realizing what he had done, he decided to do the following. He drugged his son. He overdosed, basically, his son, and his son died. Mm-hmm. He spent a night at his house with the dead bodies of his wife and son. And the next day, he committed suicide. And from that point onward, up to this day, people argue, does he belong in the Hall of Fame of professional wrestling, or is he not? And the majority say, look, he was one of the best, one of the most influential wrestlers in the world, so many accolades to his name, but it will never forgive what he had done to his family.
Well...
and his name is being wiped out from everywhere right now, basically.
But you see, there's a small difference here. From what I understood from Chris Benoit's story, is there's one thing that I really want to ask. But why is it called professional wrestling if it's all fake?
It comes from the beginning of the 20th century, because this form of pro wrestling, I don't know whether it was real back then or not.
Sorry for
the name stuck to it, basically.
Yeah, the thing is, like, for me, when I see the Olympics wrestling, that's for me is professional wrestling. When I see that type, I think of it as entertainment wrestling.
Yeah,
because it's the same as trying to watch a movie.
It is, yeah, but the name just kind of stuck to it.
Actually,
pro
wrestling is very good because you can't watch it without with the sound muted.
Yeah, the commentary. Oh man, the commentary and the audience definitely adds up to the experience.
Okay. So the thing with this is, if I remember from the Chris Benoit story, is that he was like drugged the fuck up, like not head trauma and everything, and he was like majorly fucked.
So if you believe which you have to believe, because these are medical reports. Yeah. He had been taking steroids for 20 to 25 years, plus so many concussions that when they they examined his brain after his death, he was 42 the time that he died, and he had the brain of an 82-year-old. And the doctor said if he wouldn't have killed himself, he would have been dead within 2 years because of so much abuse that his body had taken.
Now, again, I'm not absolving him or like you, but the thing is, for me, it's not like the same because for a wrestler, from what I understood of like this professional wrestling, the amount of pressure that they get. Like from, if I would believe, like, the John Oliver investigation, not his investigation, like the HBO investigation.
I can tell you, I've seen that. Yeah, I can tell you that. Yeah, it's practically true. Everything, 95% there is true.
Sorry, the stories that you tell other wrestlers, he was being abused by the system of, professional wrestling or whatever, or like the WWF or whatever, this entertainment, let's say, business. So in a fit of rage, he wasn't in his right mind. This is why, for example, if you're intoxicated and you beat someone to death, you almost get involuntary, I think, manslaughter.
Yeah, I think it is.
Not
in some countries, it's different.
It's not first, second, or third degree. Like it's not you did it purposefully to kill this person. You know, imagine like even if you have alcohol in your body. Now imagine someone whose brain is fucked. Mm-hmm. Now. Then again, maybe like he went, but Bill Cosby, a dictator, they do this with 100%. They have like
they are in the right mind, basically.
Louis C.K., for example, let's take the case of Louis C.K. It's not as horrible, but it has its own stories. Like for example, some people would say, "Oh, the woman she was in the room." He asked her for her permission. She said yes. So why shouldn't he do this?
Question, audience.
Exactly. Like I'm not saying like, but Louis C.K. was a piece of shit. Like at one point, I'm not saying his comedy. Like let's remove this. But at that point, he was a piece of shit. But then again, he did it. Like why is he a piece of shit in my because he did it in his full right mind. Mm-hmm. He was not intoxicated. He was not like drugged up. Although like not like taking drugs and doing shit with it is good. Fuck that. Yeah, For me, that's like, oh, I have to get weed to do comedy. I fucking hate that. But anyways, it's the
Hello,
same.
Joe Rogan.
The same as comedy is therapy. So, fuck, what was I saying? Sorry. Yeah. So he that does not. But at the same time, look at the shit that Louis C.K. did for a lot. Like there are so many comedy clubs that after that thing happened to him, they were like, Louis C.K. built us. Literally, Louis C.K. helped us. Like when the epidemic started, he did something which I think it was a comedian who leaked this out, and it was like, and people were like, whoa, they were angry. And apparently Louis C.K. himself was telling the managers not to say this. He was making sure. Was it a publicity stunt? Was it not? Maybe. But then again, I think for us, for me as a comedian, like doing comedy and everything, we don't care about publicity stunts.
Yeah.
If you give a shit about publicity stunts, fuck you. But well, really, you can't. If you can't win an audience through your jokes or like through your, get what I'm saying, like through your comedy, and you have to do a publicity stunt. Well, who the fuck are you, Donald Trump? You have to leak out. You have to leak out, and I think it's leaked out. A tape of you saying I grabbed woman by the pussy to get more attention.
Yeah.
Of men who go, oh yes, yeah. So. Fuck. Yeah. So I don't think, and he in the epidemic when like COVID, he donated money for the waiters and waitresses in comedy clubs.
Wow.
He was donating money for them for them to keep up because they didn't have anybody. So, but then again, he was saying, "Don't tell this to anyone," and then someone leaked it out. This is why at the same time he pulled out his dick. Yeah, fuck you, man. Well, really, would you like your daughters to have this? Would you like your daughters for someone to come to your daughter and pull their dick out? If you would like this, then fuck you again. Okay. So now going back to this, I don't think it's a fair comparison because Bill Cosby, I kind of am 101% sure that he did this. But there's one thing in this story that makes me angry. The story of Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, it really makes me angry. And it pisses me off that nobody talks about it. And Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Nobody, like you want to tell me, these guys have been doing this for 10, 20 years, 30 years, and nobody knew? Let's be honest. Like, I would like to ask. Nobody knew. Jeffrey Epstein had movie stars get on his private jet. You want to tell me they didn't know what he was doing?
Of course, people knew, but then again, you can understand why they didn't say anything.
Are they accomplices?
Some of them may be. I mean, look. It's. I'm pretty sure that the managers knew, but they were thinking like, "Oh, we are making so much money with this guy." I'm not talking about the
managers. 1 second. I'm not. Now remember this. Yeah, I'm talking now. Yeah, of course. Like I don't know, but the thing, my thing of it, are these people accomplices? They saw something, and you want to tell me Bill Cosby's case? There were not someone who was doing this, who was not making sure that the woman doesn't talk, as in pay her off or whatever.
Of course, there were.
There wasn't one of his co-stars who was like, "Ooh, key," his wife, whatever. Then I think these people are as much of an accomplices as Bill Cosby himself.
True. Agreed.
Epstein, the shit that he did. I loved when what's his name, Ricky Gervais destroyed Hollywood, and he was like, "You motherfuckers were in him in the same fucking plane."
Yeah.
Like it's in that. I'm paraphrasing. It
was in the during the Oscars, by the way.
You guys were in the same fucking plane. You want to tell me, whoever the actors were, they were not in on it? I'm just asking, like, they have to be, man. They have to know, to at least know. Weinstein, Tarantino, my friend. Tarantino Weinstein was Tarantino's basically like making all Tarantino's movies.
Yep.
Almost. I think. I'm not sure. Do you want to tell me that? Okay, so if now, again, I don't know if yes or no, but if Weinstein did something bad to an actress who was in a Tarantino movie, are you trying to convince me that Tarantino didn't know? if he knew, does that make him an accomplice? If yes, then why isn't he in the shit too? Well, he should be. There's also like, it's going around this thing. Oh, if Weinstein looked like Brad Pitt, it would have been different. No, I'm not sure actually, but I don't think it would have been different. I think it would have been the same, but not that much of amount of women who would come out.
Probably, yeah. But still, it's just dumb speculations because what does it matter whether it would have been different or not? He did what he did. That's it.
Yeah, but then again, listen, man. If someone does something bad, like for someone else, and you're a witness to this, you have seen this, and you know it's bad, would you say something or yes or no? Now, the thing is, I don't. When it happened in my life, these things, I would tell the person who did, and I would then make them do it
themselves.
Right. It wasn't as fucked up as what Bill did and everything. No. It's on like it's just like he's stealing gum. Don't steal that fucking thing.
Yeah.
They didn't put a coffee in the trash. Like fuck, put it, man. You won't die. It's not like for me again that's right. But now we're talking about rape, and maybe it was hearsay. Yeah, they heard it, but since if you heard it and you heard it from one woman, wouldn't that be true? This is what makes me angry. Why are the people who I have 100% I know that they knew about it? You can't tell me they didn't. Why aren't they getting? They should get shit for what they did. And the only person who gave them shit was Ricky Gervais, and that's why I fucking respect the guy.
Yep. Yep. True. Well, yeah, it is what it is.
Comedy podcast.
Yeah, comedy podcast. But it was a topic, from the comedy world. So yeah. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this. We've been over 2 hours again, 2 hours 15 minutes. What I wanted to say at the end of this is that, we are back with the podcast. I will do my best to publish the episodes on regular basis because I've already have planned and talk to people about sitting down and recording. I assume right now I have time to do that, so I want to do this regularly. So hopefully nothing will stop me from doing that.
Please, don't take another fucking break.
Okay, I will try. Only when I die.
That
will be my break.
That's up to you and the man upstairs. The owner of the place.
Yeah, the owner of the place, by the way. Yeah.
But no, it's so glad. I'm so happy to be back. Like, so much fucking fun to have this. And now I have 2 minutes, 2 new minutes.
You see, that's very useful for the comedians as well.
But the thing is consistency. I think you have people who are listening to you, so fucking hell, man, you owe that to them.
Yeah, and thank you for listening to this, guys. Really, I really appreciate this because when I started doing this, I thought that 5-10 people would be listening to this. We have episodes that have over 100, downloads, and for me that is mind blowing. Even though it's been like 6 months since we started doing this. But still, so thank you very much for listening, guys. Thanks, man, once again for joining me here.
Thank you for.
That was a very nice conversation. I'll upload this. I'll start uploading these episodes that I record at weekends. Yes, so every new episode will drop by a Saturday and Sunday, one of those 2 days every single week, and I'll try to make it consistent. So thanks you guys once again, and we'll hear you and see you maybe even on our screens at the next episode.
Thanks a lot, man. See ya.
Yeah, ciao.